love lives here.
Though Eddie and I went to the pub choir on Wednesday, and it was amazing. 900 people all singing We Belong. I know. Can you believe it? We Belong. We were all singing Pat Benatar's We Belong this past Wednesday. 3-part harmony. A lot of people like me and Eddie who sing fabulously when we are in the car by ourselves. But, you know, the minute we step out of the car, it's like Ursula just takes our voice, you know? Yeah. So, but it was amazing. And the unity and the joy and the connection that was just there, it was so amazing and so palpable. If you read the email this week, I sent you a link to last year's video. And once you start with that one video with Pub Choir, you can just go down a rabbit hole. She's been doing it for 9 years. It is just amazing, the joy and the love and the hope of what's possible when people come together in unity in such a way. And I share this because it was building a bridge. 900 strangers coming together, talking in line, then talking inside, strangers not knowing each other after everything was over, taking pictures with one another, taking selfies, you know, sharing and exchanging social media. It was just incredible. And so this is proof positive of what's possible when we have bridges rather than barriers. So I want to introduce you, most of you know him, but I want to introduce you to James Woods. James is one of our practitioner interns. He is just completing his first year of Prac training and will be starting Prac 2 in fall. And he is a licensed family and marriage therapist. He is a licensed and just amazing yoga instructor, and he is an entrepreneur working to bring yoga to our schools, to our young people, helping them learn new skills rather than from yelling to yoga. They go from yelling to yoga, equipping them with new tools, new ideas. He is passionate. He is dynamic. He's got 2 extra legs today because he hurt his knee. But he is all that and a bag of chips. Please welcome James Woods.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Hello. Good morning, y'all. Thank you. All right, we're going to do this. You know, I forgot I had one leg, so I almost started dancing when the music was going and everything. Rev Jeff was going to have to lift me up out of here if I started dancing on one leg. But I'm still here. I made it. And speaking about carrying, we are talking about bridges today. I'm excited to talk about bridges. Bridges have had, strangely, a large impact on my life throughout my life. Can y'all hear me? All right, y'all can hear me? Okay. Bridges have really had a large impact on my life. So, born and raised here in California and came to Corona. And as I came to Corona, got involved in the community and everything. And then I was fortunate to be involved in the Corona City Parks and Rec. I was on the Parks and Rec board. Super excited, volunteered and everything. And as I got involved in the Parks and Rec board, I started learning about what the city was doing. Now, y'all know what Corona is. Y'all know that bridge that goes over, the newest bridge in Corona? I'm talking about that goes over to Magnolia. I was a part of them doing all that planning and stuff for that bridge. A part as in I held the door open for the people when they was going in and making the important decisions. What I learned about that bridge was really amazing. How much money goes into building it, how many contractors, how much people, how much infrastructure, how many things go into building a bridge, and even just a small city like Corona, California. Everybody was super excited. We applied for the grant. We got the money from the state. We were building infrastructure. We're expanding everything that's going in Corona. We were ready to build. We were ready to just create a whole new, brighter future for Corona. Until one day, one of the patrons that is over in that area comes in the city hall, and he's like, wait, before you build this bridge, do you realize it's going over my business? This bridge is going to go over my business. I depend on foot traffic. I depend on people seeing my business. You can feel the whole room just deflate. We have a problem. This bridge was supposed to be bringing Corona into the future, but we didn't even realize before we started going into the future, before we started crossing into the other side, before we wanted to connect with those new possibilities, we weren't connecting with ourselves. We weren't connecting with our community, with our local business people. We weren't making that effort to figure out what was going on our side of the bridge before we were leaping over to the other side of the bridge. Sometimes we have our minds and our eyes on all the conflict that is there between us and what's going on the other side. But today I want us to start and invite you to look at both sides of the bridge. Maybe we have a bridge that's kind of messed up, a little shaky, a little repairs needed to ourselves even, to our higher selves, to our higher conscience, to the true selves within us. And sometimes when our bridge to ourselves is a little shaky, it's hard to get across and make those connections with other people. Some conflict is going on. Fortunately, the bridge was built and everything got worked out. And it reminded me of another part of me coming here to Corona, California. I came here in third grade, way back in third grade. My family came out here. And as I came here, I remember, I'll never forget, it was like the first day of school, and I met Andrea. Now, me and Andrea was in third grade, and I was, third grade, 9 years old or something like that. So I had on probably a cool matching short set and, had a high top fade back then or whatever. And Andrea said, ooh, I like him. And, in third grade, that's all it takes to be girlfriend and boyfriend. So I make it to school and I have a new girlfriend. But what I didn't know was that was previously my friend AJ's girlfriend. So we in third grade. And now AJ just lost his girlfriend to the new guy, me. And I'm like, I just showed up here. I don't even know what's going on. I don't know. I don't even know long division yet. I'm just trying to figure it out. AJ gets mad and he wants to fight me, and we're going back and forth and stuff. And I'm like, I'm just showing up. As me and AJ are getting into it and having these problems and this conflict, Andrea ends up getting together with a new kid that comes along. So now me and AJ look at each other, and we're like, we were having this conflict, we're having this problem. Now we got to get curious and find out what's going on. We got to take care of ourselves. Now, Andrea, she's going off with somebody else, and it's just me and AJ. Me and AJ ended up being best of friends, going into elementary and everything like that. And it took us being just curious to see what we have in common. We now have in common the heartbreak of Andrea. But what else did me and AJ have in common? What other ways could me and AJ connect? We discovered that as we first had that initial conflict, those initial problems, he didn't know who I was, I didn't know who he was. We were going to fight on the playground at 3 o'clock right under the monkey bars. But when we started to look and see the things that we had in common, we became friends. We became connected. It was a bridge built there. As we continue to learn about the bridges and how we connect with ourselves, it's important for us just to take that moment and be curious. I know when the news comes on, I know when someone wears something or says something or displays something, it can automatically shut down the curiosity and go into protection. Protecting our identities, protecting our beliefs and who we feel we are in that moment. But when we open up to a little bit of curiosity, maybe we can start to look and see how we're connected. We can start to see those bridges. It can be very, very, very scary to look at what's on our side of the bridge. My grandma, Madia, she hated bridges. She hated freeways. She hated going over anything. I don't know if anybody had grandparents or older people who just did not like bridges. She even she didn't like the freeway. She was trying to take the freeway from LA to all the way out here. She just did not like freeways or anything. She was scared. She had that fear of taking those bridges. But of course, for her grandkids, she would take the bridge and come out here and make those trips because she had something where she was willing to look at herself and cross those bridges and take those next steps over. That connection, that's that thing that can help us to look at ourselves and help us to connect on a deeper level. When we're curious about who we are, when we're curious about those people and not building those bridges and those barriers, it helps to bring a deeper connection. One of the stories that I learned in my readings about really understanding how we're connected is a story that I heard about the Buddha. Like, this is the original Buddha, Gautama Buddha. And this was a man who was revered as a legend, as a wise sage back in those days, and still now, of course. So the Buddha was holding court, and then all of a sudden a woman comes up to him crying. And she has this bundle in her arm. And this is a woman who has went through the pain of losing her child in birth. This is her one and only child. She lost the child in birth. And she brings the child to the Buddha. She's like, Buddha, you're the most wise sage. Please tell me anything. What can I do to be able to bring my child back to life? Please, you have the power to bring my child back to life. Buddha sat there for a second thinking about it. And he said, you know what? I will bring your child back to life if you can find me one house, one home in this whole village that has not been impacted and visited by death. The lady just grew a bright smile on her face. She was excited. Okay, anything. I just want to bring my baby back. So she starts running through the town, running through the village, knocking on every door. Have you been visited by death? Yes, I lost my son. Boom, boom, boom. Have you been visited by death? My mother died the other week. My cousin, my brother, every house that she went to had been visited by death. Before the woman could even make it back to Buddha, she had a sense of enlightenment, a consciousness. She realized everybody shared a connection. Everybody had something in common. Even if it's something as painful as death, that helped her to see herself in that situation. That helped her to see her own struggles. This woman later went on to have her own sense of great enlightenment. But just the knock on someone's door, the willingness to be curious, the willingness to be courageous, the willingness to find something to take that connection, even in the deepest of pain, helped her to gain a huge sense of enlightenment. And I know how much courage and empathy it could take to get across those bridges. She's not here, she's out of town, but my lovely girlfriend, Jenny, we love each other so much, it's amazing. But we went out of town on a trip to Portugal. And I don't know if any of you have ever been out of town with your partner initially, and she's the type that she wants to get up and hurry up and go everywhere and see all the sights. And I'm like, I'm on vacation. I want to rest. I need a second. So we had a little conflict. We had little disagreements. She wanted this, I wanted that, and we're figuring it out. One day, we're walking through the town of Lisbon in Portugal. And all of a sudden, we see a whole bunch of people just moving all at once. There's just one spot. We see all these people just moving. And as we're having our little disagreements about, I want chicken, I want beef, I want to go here, I want to see this, I want to see that, whatever it is, we've all been there. We start to just get in line with all these people. And then we notice all the people just stop and they look. And as we look around, we notice we're on the bridge. And this is a bridge in the part of town where the sunset is amazing. It feels like the whole city of Lisbon is on this bridge. Everybody's drinking wine and bread and cheese and just stopping whatever they're doing in our busy lives to watch the sunset. Connected. Instantly, I said, I'm sorry. Instantly, hugged each other, and we connected. The level of empathy that it takes to find true connection, the level of love and peace to stop the conflicts, stop the whatever is going on between you and who's ever out there, even if it's somebody on TV, to just stop and be in the presence of the oneness that we all are. To really genuinely feel the unity. It's a bridge connecting two sides, but it's really just one. And sometimes we need a sunset, we need an ex-girlfriend, or we need the power of us connecting to music to remember that. It's just one. As we go throughout our day and we get irritated and frustrated and find something to fight about and argue about, something is keeping us on our side of the bridge. But there's always a way to connect. It is us. We are connected. We are one. Everybody take a deep breath. That's one of my favorite ways to connect. And I want y'all to do something. Everybody look at your hands. Go like this. Look at your palms. Now, if you look at your hands, you'll see you have a line right where your palm and your fingers meet. Done. Now, that line could be an invitation for your fingers to say, I'm different. I'm not with this whole palm thing. I'm my own individual finger. I got my own thing going. I got my bills to pay. This mortgage is crazy. Gas is $16. It's a lot of reasons to be your own finger. And forget that you come from the palm. Using those little lines and indentations as a reason to separate. But we know we still are all a part of the one. Now, take these hands, and we're going to bring these hands together like this. Boom. Now we're connecting even more. And the thing that is in between both of our hands, the thing that is in between our fingertips is spirit, is God, is love, is joy, is peace. It's us. It's connection. So this is just a physical representation of the bridge of who we are as the one spirit, as connection. And of course, you can find a bunch of barriers. You can find a lot of reasons to stay separate, but it's right here. And it's also when you step out of these doors. It's also when you get on the computer, too. It's still connection. So use these for connection, not separation, when you add those comments on the computer. Look for a reason to stay connected. Look for a reason to move past those barriers and remain true to the oneness that you are. Sometimes you just have to listen. Listen or see the things that are already right here in front of you to stay connected. There's a quote by Ernest Holmes in the Sermon by the Sea, 1959, that still rings loud today. There's one spirit in all people, the unity of which is now and forever. This sense of oneness, this is not anything that a bill can create or a new movement. This oneness is always here. Sometimes we got to move some things out the way to see it, but it's always here. So I have to take my hands like this because I can't walk around. Otherwise, I'm going to fall off my crutches. So I have to bring my hands apart, but I'm still connected. I'm still one. And even though I may fall on my leg, or even though I may make mistakes, or even though I'm constantly searching for a way to be clearer and more connected, I still can just take a breath and remember the oneness that is me, and remember the oneness that is you, that is all of us. So whether it's the sunset, it's your hands, it's writing a kind letter to yourself, or just a smile, remember, there's going to be barriers, but there's always a bridge. So be kind to yourself on your side, and let's connect everything on the other side as well. I appreciate y'all so much. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, so let's move to tables. And we have questions for you. Those are coming up on the screen for you to discuss there. So the questions that you have for this morning are, how can we make barriers blessings? What spiritual practices are bridges for you? And what can you do on your side of the bridge to create connection? So those are your three questions. Your homework for this week is building materials. Identify a bridge that you want to build. Gather the materials and tools that you need. For example, you might need an apology, compassion, curiosity, forgiveness, grace, love, patience, etc. Then I want you to form a plan for building that bridge. Because a bridge just doesn't happen. You got to build it, which means you got to have a blueprint, which means you got to have a plan. So plan for your bridge. Gather your materials, plan for your bridge, and then get to building. So this week, you're going to identify a bridge you want to build, gather the materials and tools needed. For example, an apology, compassion, curiosity, forgiveness, grace, love, patience, etc. Then you're going to form a plan, and then you're going to get to building. Sound good? Yes, all right. So how about another big hand for James? Thank you, James. And so I'm going to invite our practitioners and core council members to please stand and surround the sanctuary. And we're going to just know that James is too because, all right. And let's just come together in consciousness, recognizing here and now that there is just this one life, this one power, this one presence that is love, that is expressing itself in, through, and as all of creation, in, through, and as all of life. It is the light, it is the love, it is the peace, it is the joy, it is the harmony that builds bridges, that is always connected, because there is simply just this one life, this one unity. So there could never ever be any sort of separation whatsoever. There can only be one wholeness, one eternal, one infinite, one communion, one community. One is all there is. And this one I choose to call God, I choose to call good, I choose to call love. And I recognize that it is the very essence of who I am. For there is nothing for me to be created out of other than the God substance, the God source itself. Therefore, the totality of my being is spirit made manifest. And knowing this for me, I know that this is true of everyone gathered here this day, everyone who is part of Riverside, CSL, and everyone on the planet. We are all each one with the one and one with each other, inseparable, in unity, in harmony, and in peace. So I speak my word here and now, recognizing that we as a community continue to choose to lean into what is ours to do. And what is ours to do this week is to build bridges. Build bridges where we see harmony, where we see barriers. Find those points of connection. We choose to lean in and do the work of forgiveness, of speaking apologies, of being open and curious to what else is possible, how love is going to show up in this moment. Anytime we have a barrier, anytime we see an obstacle, we know that love guides us. The infinite wisdom, that love, intelligence guides us. And it is love that dissolves the barrier. It is love that bridges the gap. It is love that brings us together in perfect union, in perfect harmony. And so for this, I do give thanks. I give thanks for our oneness, for our realization of it. I give thanks for the bridges that we have already built and that we continue to build. And I give thanks that the barriers return to the nothingness from which they arose. Gone and recycled. Gone back to the good, for the highest good. And I release this word now into law, assured of its completion, assured of its manifestation. I let it be, and so it is. And let us share our affirmation together. I build bridges of love and understanding. Here we go. I build bridges of love and understanding. Now that I have your attention, let's do it again. I build bridges of love and understanding. So something wonderful is happening through me right now. Is this thing called love. Love is in my mind. Love is in my body. Love is in everything I do. I am it. I share it. I receive it. And I move love forward. Because love lives here. Happy Sunday, everybody. Let's sing.